Tonight's topic is why juicing isn't in your doctor's playbook, but it should be. I'm your host, Kelly Rochelle. And after conquering stage 3 breast cancer and completing a 153-day juice fast when I was 63, I just stopped by to tell you old age does not have to equal poor health, being decrepit, sitting in a wheelchair, or a nursing home, hoping somebody will come visit you, and waiting for somebody to come change your diaper. I'm here to inspire you and let you know what's possible. We have a choice in how we age. So let me just start by saying this. It's not your fault. They never told you. You weren't told that food is medicine. You weren't told your symptoms have root causes. That stuff just doesn't fall out of the sky, right? But there's a cause. You were just given a prescription and sent along on your merry way. All while your body kept whispering, then screaming for help. But now that you know, what you gonna do about it? Let's peel back the curtain and take a look at why this happens in the first place. Well, the first reason is that doctors really are not trained in this. Most doctors mean well, I guess, but they are trained to treat symptoms. First of all, symptoms, typically not the root cause, but they're trained to treat the symptoms with surgery or drugs, not to teach you how to heal from the inside out. And nutrition, oh, that's optional. It really doesn't matter what you eat. Or so I've been told by numerous doctors. Detox, that's dismissed. And juicing, not even mentioned. And I have to tell you a story. Not only is it not mentioned, but let me just tell you, my oncologist, who is, by the way, not a stupid person. In fact, he is a well-renowned oncologist, right? Well-known in his field, Johns Hopkins board certified. And you may or may not know about the Johns Hopkins Hospital here in Baltimore. Very famous, well-known hospital in the United States, in the world, actually. Okay? But so this is where this doctor is from, right? So in any case, I went to him to be examined. Well, not examined, but to be retested again. You know how you have to be tested again and again, over and over again. And so for the last test, to ensure that there was no cancer present, he looked at me and said, "Have you lost weight?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, did you mean to do so?" And I said, "Yes," because, if you don't mean to lose weight, it could be indicative of another issue. And so I said, "Yes, I did." And he said, "Well, what did you do?" And I said, "Well, I was on a juice fast." And I will never forget, and I will never stop telling the story, because many of you may have heard it, and I'm sorry, but I got to tell you again. I told him it was a juice fast, and he looked at me, and you'll never believe what he said. Those of you who don't know, what I was expecting him to say was, "Oh, that doesn't work," or, "Oh, be careful of that, you got to be careful about that sugar." I expected something like that, right? What I did not expect was for him to look me in the face and say, "What is that?" What is that? What is a juice fast? Again, not that he didn't agree with it. He didn't even know what I was talking about, right? So here's what I'm trying to say from that story. If you don't even know what I'm talking about for a juice fast, how can you bring it up? How can you talk about it? How can you recommend it if you don't even know it exists? And yet we give these doctors so much credit. So much. You got to listen to the doctor. Oh, the doctor said this, and the doctor said that. The doctors. But what is a juice fast? Do you hear me? Okay. So again, medical school, and this is not a stupid person, but nevertheless, he doesn't know what a juice fast even is. And when I explained it to him, he didn't even say, "Oh yeah, I just didn't know what you meant." He did not. In fact, what he actually said was, "I need to do that too," right? And I agree. He, was looking like a Santa Claus, 6 months pregnant belly. He's on medications. But take a look at your hospital staff when you go to the hospital next. Notice how many of them are overweight and obese, right? They can't get their own selves together, and they're telling you something what to do. I mean, I would recommend listening to the advice of someone who's living the life that you want to live. That's what I would say. If you're living the life that I want, then let me hear what you're talking about. But if you're not, then why am I listening to you? I don't want to live the life that you're leading me toward. But that's just me. Hey, you're welcome to listen to whatever you like. I'm just here to give you another alternative. So again, medical school does not teach lifestyle medicine. It just doesn't. And the system rewards management of diseases, not the reversal of them. So this is why you may have felt unheard or dismissed, like, your pain is just normal, or it's in your head, or, it's just a natural byproduct of aging, just getting older. Just accept it. But here's what I want you to know. Juicing actually does not mask symptoms like most medication does. Juicing goes straight to the root of the problem. Juicing floods your body with the nutrients your cells are starving for. Your cells are starving for nutrition, not necessarily food, or what you may call food, but the nutrition that it would get from said food. That's what it's starving for. Juicing gives your digestion a break as well, so that your body can repair and heal. Digestion is one of the most labor-intensive things that our body does. It takes a lot of work to digest. And when your body is busy digesting food from morning till night, because we don't know how to stop eating, we eat all day long, every minute of every day, every second that we're awake, we're eating something typically, right? So your body never gets a break. It's constantly working. And so juicing gives your digestive system a break so that your body can repair and heal. Juicing also reduces inflammation. And inflammation is the root cause of many, 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 many diseases. And it supports detoxification at the cellular level. So this is why my clients lower their blood pressure. This is why the hot flashes, hives, headaches, and fatigue fade away. Not because of a pill, but because of a process. Because we work with the body, not against it. So now, let's get a little nerdy, just for a second. Those of you who know me know that when I was diagnosed, I locked myself away and literally did nothing else but research studies, read books, and medical journals, non-stop for months, night and day, nothing else. And I amassed a wealth of knowledge and personal experience, which makes it so easy for me to embrace this lifestyle. It makes me so certain that this is the way to health. There's not a doubt in my mind. So let's talk a little bit about how the science backs me up, just a little bit. Now, there are multiple peer-reviewed studies that show green juice reduces oxidative stress and supports liver function, that raw fruit and veggie diets improve microbiome health and reduce inflammation. Intermittent fasting, like juice cleansing, activates cellular repair. This is real, it's measurable and proven. And yet, most people are more comfortable taking whatever their doctor prescribes them than doing a little bit of extra work that it takes to include fresh, cold-pressed juice into their daily diet. Well, I just stopped by to tell you, there's going to be work either way. You can do the work that it takes to achieve and maintain your health, or you can do the work of sitting in waiting rooms, getting baskets full of prescriptions filled, the work of looking for somebody to help you get around in your old age, take you to the store, fix you some food, help you. Somebody to help you take care of yourself. And you might think that your kids will help you, right? But a lot of people get a rude awakening when they find out, to their shock and surprise, that that's not true for them. Some people find that out. And even if it is true, do you feel good about being a burden to them? Being dependent on them? Do you feel good about that? Especially when you could have avoided it all. I mean, you're grown. You could have avoided it all with the choices that you make now, with the work that you decide to do or not do today. So, if you've ever felt that something deeper was possible, you were right. You have the power to choose. You don't have to wait for permission to heal. You don't have to accept a life of managing symptoms. You get to choose something different, something deeper. And that starts right now, not next Monday, not when it's convenient, but now. Because your body is listening. And when you start to nourish it differently, it responds every single time. So, here's your invitation. If this stirred something in you, start juicing. If you're ready for more support, drop a comment and say, I'm ready. And if you want a plan that meets you where you are, not where the world expects you to be, book a free strategy call with me. Listen, you were never meant to be sick forever. And I venture to say you weren't meant to be sick at all, but certainly not forever. And you were meant to heal. Our bodies are self-healing mechanisms. But we have to give it the right tools to work with. And I'm here to walk with you every juicy step of the way. Thank you so much for joining me and for showing up for you. Have a good night. I love you.